Good Sunday morning. I'm Fletcher Mackel, and it's finally game day.
And I'm Sharif Ishak, and while the Saints season is always exciting, this season is starting with a ton of questions, Fletcher.
That's right. Like, can the defense stop anyone? Last year, Rob Ryan's unit ranked 31st in the league, and in the preseason, the Saints' defense was woeful, resulting in an 0-4 record, the Saints' first winless preseason since 1971.
So I got drafted to the San Diego Chargers in 2001. I think they were 4-0 in the 2000 preseason. They finished 1-15. So preseason doesn't really indicate a whole lot. I mean, I think you can look at the Colts preseason record during Peyton Manning's tenure there, and I think they won 10% of their preseason games and always won 12 games a year.
So let's hope the Saints follow that path. As for starting on the road in Arizona against a Cardinals team that was in the playoffs last season, veteran players say they're ready.
This is generally, I would say, one of the more intense games of the year. I think everybody's really excited to get in. And look, at the end of the day, we all have aspirations and goals and dreams, and we're excited. And you know, obviously starting the season off with a win is a lot easier, especially on the road against a really good team like the Cardinals.
The Cardinals are led defensively by two former LSU Tigers, cornerback Patrick Peterson and safety Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
Those guys are, those guys are playmakers. They're definitely a great strength of their defense. Patrick Peterson, one of the best defensive backs in this league, has been for a while now. You know, the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, he's all over the place. He makes plays all over the field. He's very versatile. You know, he can play middle of the field safety. He can come down and cover a slot. He can cover a tight end. They'll pressure him. You know, they do a lot of things with him just because he's such an instinctive football player and he's just around the ball. And listen, they've got other guys in that secondary that they mix and match quite a bit, and they all can cover. They all can cover ground. They all are very aware. You know, so they've got some really good guys on the back end.
Let's hope Drew Brees attacks the Cardinals today in the season opener like he attacked that crocodile in this week's episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls. Brees and the British adventurer survived 48 hours in the Panamanian jungle.
And for those wondering, because some have asked, the show was taped last spring, so Drew didn't miss any practice time recently to take part in the survival reality show. Besides dealing with a croc, Brees also jumped out of a helicopter, rappelled down a cliff, and dealt with bats. The future Hall of Famer also shared his personal stories of triumph and tragedy and revealed drive and focus that make him a world-class athlete.
But it's the crocodile scenes that still have everyone talking. In fact, earlier this week, Saints head coach Sean Payton left this crocodile head for Drew Brees prior to the start of the QB meeting the media for his weekly news conference.
I knew I would be getting outside my comfort zone a little bit with maybe some of the heights and the snakes and different things. Did I expect to be killing a crocodile on that trip? No. And then eating it for dinner. But when you're in the moment, you kind of just go primal.
Very few pro athletes get to be heroes in their hometowns. So Michael Mauti is very lucky. The former Mandeville High School standout was picked up by the Saints after being released by the Minnesota Vikings. Mauti is the son of former Saints wide receiver Rich Mauti. Michael, like his father, played his college ball at Penn State and was a 7th-round draft pick in 2013. He played mostly special teams for 2 years with the Vikings and is expected to contribute there today for New Orleans. We talked to Mauti earlier this week and asked him if it's actually a distraction being at home.
If I were to come back here right after college and not know anything about the NFL, I think that it might have been a little more of a challenge for me. But having 2 years under my belt of you know, figuring out how the game works and you know, how to go about your business as a player, as a professional, I think it would have been a little more difficult. But you know, now I know how things work a little bit, I can kind of, you know, ignore those distractions and just focus on my job.
Another local product who'll be starting for the Saints today, cornerback Delvin Breaux. Normally the team's nickelback, he's starting because Keenan Lewis is out with a hip injury. This is Breaux's first NFL season after spending 3 years in the Canadian Football League.
My coach pulled me over today. He was telling me, it's like, hey, now you know they don't know nothing about you. Coming from the CFL, they may know a little bit, but they're going to test you. You know, you're a rookie in this league, so be prepared to put your big boy pads on and be ready to play.
One of the biggest storylines this week involved Pro Bowl defensive end Cam Jordan. Jordan is being investigated by the New Orleans Police Department for his alleged involvement in an early morning bar altercation last weekend.
That's right. Jordan's attorneys, Ralph and Brian Capitelli, say the entire situation is ridiculous and that Jordan did nothing criminal. They say Cam Jordan is working with police and will cooperate in any way. According to police, a woman said she was with her boyfriend at the nightclub Republic when they got into an altercation with Jordan.
Detectives are reviewing the surveillance video. No charges have been filed and no arrests have been made. Earlier this week, Jordan's teammates said they stand by him.
I spoke with Cam and we talked about it. I mean, he's been pretty transparent with the whole thing, and you know, sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I think he'd be the first one to say that I probably wasn't in the right place. He'd also be the first one to say that maybe it didn't happen quite that way. I'm always one to sit and wait and see what exactly happened before I jump to conclusions. But Cam is a leader on this team. We have confidence in him. He's obviously going through a tough time right now, but as teammates, we definitely support him and we'll wait to see what happens.
Jordan practiced all week, and he'll start today for the Saints in the desert, and the team needs him. The last time the Black and Gold won a game in Arizona, 2000. Now for more on this matchup, here's Sharif and Saints on 6 analyst and former Saints head coach Jim Mora.
All right, Jim, the Saints kick off their season against the Arizona Cardinals on the road, a tough place to play. How important, I know it's a cliche question, how important is it to get that first game under your belt, win? Because last season, the Saints had the Falcons on the road, second half went downhill and kind of almost was, you know, the downfall of their season almost.
Nah, let me tell you something. One game doesn't make a difference. You can lose the first game and win the Super Bowl, okay? It doesn't make any difference. I mean, you want to win them all. The first game is important because you've worked all off season, you've worked all training camp, kind of, you know, not preparing for this first game, but you probably put more into this first game than you would normally because you got more time to prepare for it. And it's always good to get off on the right foot. So winning that first game is important against a good team like Arizona. It's always important to win that first game. Just the feeling you get for winning that, and you're a little more excitement. The first game, the first regular season game of the season, and there's more excitement. But if you lose it, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Hopefully they win it, and it's going to be a good game. I think two good football teams.
Bruce Arians, you just mentioned him, a good friend of yours, good coach. You really like him a lot. Why is he such a special coach in this league right now?
Well, Bruce was on my staff here at New Orleans for a couple of years, and then also in Indianapolis for 3 years. He's an outstanding coach, outstanding, and he's done a great job. He did a great job as the interim coach for the Colts that one year when Pagano was ill, and he's done a great job there at Arizona. And he's a really good offensive coach. He's a good, he knows personnel. He's good with the players. The players respect him. He's innovative. He takes chances. He's one of the top coaches in the league, in my opinion, and a good friend.
You think they're close to getting to what needs to be a Super Bowl championship now if they can keep Carson Palmer healthy?
Well, you know, they lost their defensive coordinator, Bowles. He's now the head coach of the Jets. They've lost a couple of other players, as everybody does during the offseason. But I don't know if they're close to being a Super Bowl team, but I think they're in the hunt to be a playoff team. Now, they're in a division with the Seahawks. The Rams are getting better. The 49ers are going to be worse, in my opinion. I think it'd be tough for them to win the division because I think the Seahawks are a better team. But they have a chance to possibly come in as a wild card team.
All right, he's Saints on 6 analyst Jim Mora. We'll send it back to you.
And Coach and Sharif, thank you very much. Let's quickly look at the odds to win Super Bowl 50 this season. Green Bay, New England, and Seattle are the odds-on favorites at 15-2, followed by the Colts, Eagles, Broncos, and Cowboys. The Las Vegas odds makers don't have much faith in the Saints. The Black and Gold are 45-1 long shots, the same odds is their opponent today, the Arizona Cardinals. All right, finally, the moment of truth. Predictions. Do the Saints win or lose today in the desert?
Before I answer that question, Fletcher, I'm usually a pessimist when it comes to the Saints or even LSU, and I pick against them quite a bit. And during this preseason, all I've heard is Saints aren't going to win more than 6, 7, maybe 8 games. I think they go into Arizona and shock everyone. I think they win this game. I think they keep it close. I'll say 28-24, 27-24, just because I think that Drew Brees will make a big play and help this team win.
I think Drew Brees is in mid-season form. The limited work in the preseason, he did look amazing, but I think this is one of those games. The Saints, a long journey out west to a place they really don't play that often, and this is just one of those games that I think they lose this season. I think Bruce Arians is a good coach, like Jim Mora said. I think Carson Palmer could shred this secondary that's banged up if they don't get pressure on him. So I'm saying 31-24, Cardinals defeat the New Orleans Saints today.
That's okay. I pick against them sometimes. Sometimes I pick for them. This time I think they win the game.
We shall see.
Back to you.